Greetings, programs. My name is Wretch, and I'd like to welcome you to Vampire the Masquerade Swansong. We are finally playing this new adventure set in the city of Boston in the world of darkness, guys. I know I'm a little bit late to the party. I had some kind of views on this game on whether I wanted to play it or not, but I had an awesome benefactor who decided to procure the game for me on PS5, so we are actually going to go ahead and do a playthrough of this. This is done by the same company that made The Council, which was a Telltale-style adventure game that I really enjoyed playing here on the channel years ago. And this is their newest offering, so I'm curious to see what their take on the world of darkness is going to be. As you guys know, I try and play every VTM game that comes around, and this one's no exception. So let's go ahead to get a new game started. September 4th, 2019, 11 p.m. The Boston court is in turmoil. A code red alert has been issued, which means a major crisis has occurred. Emmem, Leisha, and Caleb are summoned by the prince. Now, I know that we get to play as 3 different Kindred here, so vampires walk among us. Unknowing, we've built their cities, fought their wars, and sated their hunger. For centuries, these creatures have been organized into rival sects, the largest of which is the Camarilla. In its domains, Camarilla courts enforce the Masquerade, a global conspiracy hiding the existence of vampires from the mortal world. Breaking the Masquerade is punishable by final death. In Boston, vampire factions have long been at each other's throats. After much conflict, Hazel Iverson, the new prince, has sealed a fragile pact with a group of blood sorcerers, known as the Hartford Chantry. Getting Tremere into the fold, right? Quick. I like it. This alliance will not only provide stability to the domain, but will hand the prince the blood trade. The trafficking of blood and mortal victims that serves the needs of the vampire elite. Tonight, the undead will celebrate. Boo!
I'll just get this going. There, ready.
Yay!
We're all set. Now, to begin, tell me, what do you see?
I don't know.
Okay. Try this. Focus on your vision.
It's a good intro.
They're coming.
Okay, that definitely sets the tone. Guys, if I need to turn the volume up or down, just let me know, okay? Hey, Pesky, what's going on, buddy?
Did you feel it too?
Take your stuff. We're getting out of here. We've got a problem.
Call them back.
Oh, I like the fact that she has the, I don't know how that's pronounced, but I know it's like vitiligo or something like that. That skin condition. Always while I'm eating.
What's going on?
It's the prince. We must go quickly.
Not too bad, Pesky. Just hanging in there. Been looking forward to playing this, actually. Prince's Quarters, 10 p.m.
Come on. Damn it. Hurry up.
Calm down. Maybe it has nothing to do with the party.
You know full well I was in charge of it. If anything goes wrong, it's my head on the chopping block. Fuck. Damn it! It took Hazel months to convince the Hartford Chantry to ally themselves with us. So they finally accept, and then bam, a code red. There's never been a code red in Boston, damn it! This has gotta be bad, MM.
In a dialogue, some answers require the use of your skills. Your skill level is compared with that of your opponent. The higher rating wins. You cannot use a skill if its rating is 0. Using a skill consumes willpower. If your opponent wins, you gain a few willpower at the end of the dialogue. Oh, so you get a little bit of ammo if you lose. So this is our resident artiste, a member of the Toreador clan. So we can't use the persuasion because we don't have anything with our friend Journey here, so I guess we go with psychology.
It's not like you had anything to do with it. I'm sure.
You don't get it. I was in charge of organizing the party.
But security is Jara's problem,
Yeah,
normally.
except Jara is a member of the Primogen. I'm not.
But you're a harpy. The prince will cover you. You know she's always looking for an excuse to take him down a notch.
We'll see.
I like how they call it the Primogen.
What do we do next?
When everyone's safe, we move on to phase 2. We clean house.
See, there's always the thing about pronunciation in these games. Like, you have the Camarilla, and then you have the Camarilla, which is kind of like the Spanish pronunciation of it. Then you have Primogen. Yeah, there's not really a wrong way to say a lot of these terms. What's a code red for someone who has not watched A Few Good Men?
Did you say this is the first code red in Boston?
Ever since the fall of London, protocol is no longer a laughing matter.
Whatever. They've been harping on that for 4 years now. They took away our internet access. Our smartphones.
It's called risk mitigation, that's all. A code red is an alarm signal that's sent to everyone to say, watch out, we're all in danger. And everyone runs to shelter at the nearest safe house. For us, it's with the prince. It could have been worse.
I'd have preferred worse.
You're not even listening to me.
What do you mean by we clean house?
Getting rid of our archives, our documents, anything that might betray our network and relationships.
What comes after phase 2?
Just pray that it never comes to that.
Come on, tell me.
We run, we leave everything behind, and we go into hiding. As far from here as we can.
There's no way I'm leaving Boston. Everything I have is right here in the city. It took me years to build my clubs. I've worked too hard to give it up now.
You won't have a choice. I know you hate coming here. Are you gonna be all right?
What do you think? I know how to behave, Jay.
Yeah, I know.
So she's a harpy.
Cool, and it'll be fine.
Ah, my little darlings. You're here at last. The fear that something horrible had happened to you terrified me.
No call for theatrics, April.
The prince asked to see you as soon as you arrived, Amim. I wouldn't dilly-dally if I were you. As for you, Journey, someone's triggered a code red. If anything has happened over there, I'll hold you personally responsible.
So is she... Oh, Lord. Okay, the eyes have gotten creepy. So she must be the primogen. Vampires have supernatural abilities usually inherited from their clan, disciplines. Some disciplines can be used in dialogues, as with skills, the higher level wins. Not all disciplines are available to all vampires. Some mortals may possess certain powers, although most have no defense against disciplines. So some of the mortals could have powers, which means that we could run into a mage or a hunter or all kinds of interesting stuff. Using a discipline generates hunger. Hunger has a value that cannot be exceeded. This limits a vampire's use of their powers. A vampire at their hunger limit risks losing control, attacking, and feeding on the closest mortal. So we don't really have the option to say, no, let's not use our powers, please. So you won't even give us the option. We've got to try and use presence to flatter her, which isn't going to work, but...
You know, back in the day, nobody could bat an eyelash without you knowing about it. You must know exactly what Jay's being blamed for, don't you?
Emem. My dear Emem. I adore you. Really, I do. But darling, please. You're way out of your league here. This alliance with the Hartford Chantry is crucial. The prince is on edge. We can't get through to anyone over there.
What does this have to do with Jay?
She was in charge of the whole thing, for goodness sake. Listen, both of you. From now on, I don't want to hear another word out of either of you. The prince is furious. Journey, you're coming with me.
I don't see why.
And as for you, Hazel wants to see you. Right now.
Right now. I love the designs for all the characters, though. Okay. Show goals. So what do we... Oh. Aha! Emem Lewis, founder of the Black Rattlers, Clan Toreador, embraced in 1929, 12th generation, which isn't bad for this era. Like, starting characters in VTM 3rd edition started at 13th, so she's got a little bit of elder blood, kind of, or older blood. Men of Bronze. Born in Harlem in 1901, Emem grew up in a family of poor African-American performers. Her father, Mason, was a musician by night and window washer by day. Her mother, Clara, sang when she was not taking care of her 4 children. When he was drafted in 1917, Emem's father enlisted in the 15th Regiment of the New York National Guard, the Harlem Hellfighters, and participated in the liberation of France. He joined a jazz band in his unit that became a phenomenal success after the war ended. Pathé Studios had them record an album which would become the first jazz record to be played non-stop on French phonographs. Following the success, Mason decided to bring his family to Paris and to make a living playing his music in the jazz clubs that were beginning to sprout up throughout the capital. Emem was 17 years old and was a dancer. She spent time with the elite who would come to listen to her father, and it took little time for her to get noticed. She discovered that word, and their international shows. She auditioned for it and passed with flying colors. From odd jobs backstage to subbing in for other performers, she proved herself and became a headline act at just 21 years old. I guess kind of like the French version of vaudeville, maybe? Her burlesque stripping act took Paris by storm, making her extremely popular. Emem began traveling through Europe, dancing to packed houses and the hottest cabarets. Emem was young, beautiful, and radiant. Her life was the night, as the champagne and money flowed. She was determined and alluring, the embodiment of a free and independent woman of the early 20th century. She had a fiery temperament that soon attracted the attention of Europe's divas. December 1923. Emem performed 8 times at the Vienna Carl Theater. On the first night, she was introduced to Hilda McAndrews by the theater director outside her dressing room. Emem was immediately captivated by this mysterious aristocrat who had attended each of her performances. They spent the nights that followed in bars, exchanging stories about their lives and their art, their passions and their struggles. Hilda was cultured, charismatic, and politically engaged in the suffragette movement and the women's artistic community. Emem, to her surprise, fell under her spell and gave in to this irresistible attraction. A passionate relationship formed right away between the two women, who became inseparable. Hilda confided in Amem and told her about her vampiric nature over the course of the next 3 years. For their love to endure, but also seduced by the promise of eternal youth, Amem asked to be sired right away. It would take yet another 3 years, however, before Hilda managed to get the local prince to agree to it. The prince feared that the young woman's notoriety could be a danger to the Masquerade, one of the primary reasons that celebrities aren't embraced. With the prince's blessing at last, Hilda threw a spectacular celebration in honor of her companion, whom she would embrace at the end of this memorable evening. Having lived in Vienna since their meeting at the Carl Theater, Hilda and Amem left Austria in 1934 for Paris, then Bordeaux. Alas, France's surrender in 1940 forced the couple to reconsider their plans. With the help of her contacts in London, Hilda managed to negotiate a crossing to Boston, her hometown. Though hesitant at first, the city's Malkavian prince, Quentin King, finally granted them asylum. Amem and Hilda were introduced to the court, where 50 years of intrigue would bring their passion to its inevitable end. Following her breakup with Hilda, Amem moved to a suburban Boston neighborhood far away from King, political schemes, and her sire. The area, however, with its infamous reputation due to the large population of thin bloods and anarch sympathizers, did not make for a wise investment. But Amem refused to give up. She renovated a small theater and transformed it into a club that she named the Black Rattlers, in homage to her father's battalion. Then she returned to the stage and progressively regained her visibility and reputation. She met kindred from all walks of unlife and, against all odds, managed to bring renewal to the neighborhood, which the Bostonian youth began to frequent. The Black Rattlers grew more prominent and became one of the city's leading clubs, where anyone was welcome regardless of their clan, faction, or origin. In 10 years, Amem had managed to create a zone of peace where vampires from the Camarilla and Thin Bloods could sit together and listen to the finest jazz, so an all-encompassing Elysium. It was here that she met Hazel Iverson. Charmed by the Ventrue's temperament and ideas, Amem sympathized with Iverson, who claimed the throne of Boston in 2014. Although the departure of Quentin King and his hordes of minions delighted Amem, she still obstinately refused to return to the court. The only thing that mattered to her were her clubs. She had 3 now, clubs with a growing social and political power that Hazel had not forgotten. That's cool. Traits are positive or negative effects that influence the abilities of the character in question. Traits are only revealed once they have been earned as the result of an action, a character's choice, or a consequence. Hunger level confers temporary traits that affects the character's abilities. As it rises, the suspicion rating creates more negative traits that increase the difficulty faced by the characters. Talents. Talents increase your abilities. Each talent is tied to a specific action. Repeating these actions will progressively unlock the tiers of a talent. So skills, discipline, and hunt. Cool. The Codex lists and explains many concepts from Swansong and the World of Darkness. The main characters you will meet are also listed on the Boston screen. So what clans do we have here? Okay. Bruja, Caitiff, Gangrel, Malkavia, Nosferatu, Toreador, Tremere, Ventru, the classics. Camarilla and Anarch, the Sabbat are nowhere to be seen, thank God. And then all the stats. There's a lot to kind of take in, but I do want to read up on this Hartford Chantry, though. While New England certainly isn't lacking in vampire strongholds, the Hartford Chantry is the most famous Tremere haven. A direct rival to the Salem Chantry, Hartford has held its own for several centuries, during which it was subject to infighting, enemy attacks, and turf wars. Its influence, which fluctuated over the years, greatly increased under the reign of John Rhys, who led the domain until 2014. His successor, Deneb Osborne, seems intent on maintaining this same momentum in the years to come, as demonstrated by the recent detente between Hartford and Boston. Okay, you don't know? Okay, I can go ahead and do like a quick kind of, I can do a crash course, Pesky, in VTM for you, and for anyone who's watching this. So all of the vampires are broken up into clans. Each clan has their own unique powers that are gifted to them, as well as a clan weakness. They tend to recruit from certain groups, But that's not always the case. The clans aren't stereotypes. Though they do have a stereotype, it's not completely composed of them. So, the Bruja are rabble-rousers. They come from an old lineage of warrior poets, and they're, punks, political activists, just people who like stirring up stuff and trying to make sure that the status quo is always challenged. Their weakness is that they are very quick to anger, and they can frenzy very quickly. What a frenzy is when the beast that's inside all vampires decides to come out and play and attacks whatever ticked it off. So Bruja have to be very careful about that. Gangrel are the most in tune to that beast, and it gives them the ability to command and talk to animals, to alter their forms to become animals. However, because of that, they tend to stay to themselves. They're loners. A lot of them are out in the wilderness or are hermits. And their weakness is, at least in old VTM, is when they would frenzy. If they ever did lose control, they had a chance of becoming more bestial, either physically or mentally. Malkavians are completely insane, but with that insanity comes a great insight. They know things that they're not supposed to know, but a lot of people they can't really decipher what's real and what's not when you're talking to a Malkavian, because in terms of gibberish or how they communicate, they could be giving you like vital information, but you wouldn't know it. So it's both a blessing and a curse for them. The Nosferatu are masters of stealth. They can also command animals like the Gangrel. They're very powerful. Their weakness is they look literally like Count Orlok from the German Nosferatu silent film. They're hideous. That's their curse. A lot of them stay in sewers or places away from humanity because they are basically walking masquerade breaches. So they either have to have powers that change their looks or cover themselves up. They're just looking in the mirror is a tough thing for some Nosferatu. The Toreador, I used to rib all the time, but in some ways they're one of the most tragic clans. They're obsessed with art and beauty and decadence and things of that nature, but their weakness is they're also entranced by that beauty. They're also the vampire clan that is most in tune to their humanity. So while a lot of other vampires can leave their humanity behind fairly easily, the Toreador are always kind of enslaved by it and enchained by it. So in a lot of ways, it makes them the most tragic. Then you got the Tremere, who are come from a line of blood sorcerers who basically made a deal with the devil, in a sense, not literally, to become vampires. They have a very strict pyramid that they follow, like a caste system almost. And they're very secretive and very powerful, but they also have a weakness to being dominated by older members of the clan, and that pyramid also works against them. And then there's the Ventru, who are vampire aristocracy. They have the power to dominate people, to command people's hearts and minds, but their weakness is they can be very gourmet, into the point that they can only feed from a particular type of person. Like some Ventru could only feed from children, or some could only feed from people with PTSD. It can be completely random, but they can only gain sustenance from those kinds of situations. So that's a huge weakness for them, especially if they're in any kind of danger and need to feed. But these vampires are split into multiple factions. There's the Camarilla that are basically, hey, we're going to go ahead and rule from the shadows. We're going to make sure that vampires aren't known to the general public, because if humans do find out about us, there's going to be an inquisition. And this new world of darkness that's kind of popped up in the last few years, there was a second inquisition that devastated the vampire population. So they're trying to kind of get back on their feet after this second inquisition, and they sure as hell don't want a third one. The Anarchs also have a respect for the Masquerade. They want to stay hidden as well, but they hate the Camarilla. They hate the politics. They hate the Ivory Tower, as they call it. They don't want to be slaves to older vampires' whims and machinations. They just kind of want to live their lives, so they're all about freedom, their version of freedom. And these two factions have definitely kind of, butted heads. There is a third faction called the Sabbat. They got hit hardest by the Second Inquisition. They're essentially the bad guys. They believe that vampires need to show themselves, rule via fear. They're the ones that'll show up to a town, reveal themselves as vampires, kill as many people as possible. They're the boogeymen and women. And like I said, they got hit hard by the Second Inquisition. They were pretty much in hiding. But then when they do show up now, like, only the strongest and toughest survive the purge. So when a Sabbat does show up, they're very powerful and they definitely mean business. So that kind of sums up the story of VTM. Sorry, that was kind of long-winded, but let's go ahead and get back to the game here.
It's gonna be a long night.
Oh, you're very
Miss
welcome.
Lewis, welcome.
Hello.
Can I help you with something? Yes?
Can you open this door? I seem to be unable to. Doc Brown.
Consider it done.
Ooh.
Who's she, Caleb?
Mem Lewis.
She smiles like a toreador.
Letters etched in bold right upon her teeth.
What about that bearded guy who's swallowing his bile?
Dejan Siaka.
A Tremere warlock, then?
Keep him at a healthy distance. With a sideward glance, he could make the blood in your veins boil.
Is court attendance usually this sparse?
So I guess our next character is a Ventru.
We should have all left by now.
Are you worried about the Code Red?
I'd hate to be Caius right about now.
Why?
He's second honcho of house security. This promises to be a busy night.
I know what you mean. It's one thing to have been told that the Nosferatu don't age well. It's another thing to see it for yourself.
It's by no fault of their own.
Do you think you'll be able to ask the prince tonight if you can embrace me?
No. Now is no longer the time.
I was wondering, she kind of had ghoul energy to her.
And he is your child?
Mr. Beryl Underwood.
I guess we want to educate her on kind of how this world works, so...
Tread lightly. He's a member of the Primogen.
They're the check to the prince's power.
The check and balance. They backed Hazel when she rose to power after Quentin King. They'd hoped to control her.
What? Things didn't go as planned?
I just have a feeling she will surprise them. Never forget that the court is a chessboard. We are monsters, and we sacrifice pawns. If you want to be a major piece, then behave accordingly.
But...
Nothing can happen to you here. We're in the prince's house. She must be finished by now. Wait for me. This won't take long.
It's out of the question, MM! I won't let her get away with this!
All right. Calm down, Dejan.
Where's Journey?
What's it to you?
Don't start with me. She was in charge of the party. She has to take responsibility for this.
Leave her out of it.
It's too late for that. Don't waste your time covering for her. She's not a kid anymore. I haven't heard from my child, and no one's able to get through to them over there.
Go on then. Go and save Imani and stop wasting your breath.
There are rules. Need I remind you? We're all stuck here.
You're such a good boy.
You'll never change.
Dejan!
What? Oh, come on, Hilda, she needs to grow up.
Leave us.
Alrighty.
I don't need your help.
Mem, please.
Stop calling me that.
I was worried about you.
You still haven't moved on, have you? You're always getting in my way.
Lower your voice. People are staring.
So this is the X. Focus allows you to temporarily increase a skill by 1 or 2 levels. The more you increase your focus, the more willpower cost increases. To be focused, a skill must have a minimum score of 1 point. Disciplines or knowledges cannot be focused. Okay. R to focus, right? Aha! If the skill or discipline levels are the same, the outcome of the conflict is uncertain. The chance of victory can be influenced by a number of bonuses or penalties, as well as spending experience points. Well, I guess we can go ahead and spend a little bit more. Oh god. Don't! Your opponent can also focus their own skills. Unlike you, focus only allows them to increase their skill by 1 level. The risk of opponent focus is represented by a percentage. The more aggressive you are, the more risk of opponent focus increases.
Do you know what this Code Red is all about? You're in the Primogen. You must know something.
I'm in the same boat as the rest of you. Apparently, it was from one of Moore's retainers. That's all I know.
Who's that?
Jason Moore. Don't you remember him? He's the human who manages our interests when the sun comes up. He handles our assets, errands with the banks.
What does he have to do with this?
I don't know. It now seems that Miss Hazel Iverson, the mighty Prince of Boston, is no longer on speaking terms with the Primogen. As if now were the ideal time.
She asked to see me. Do you know why?
My best guess is that she'd like to talk to you about Journey. Of course. I always warned you that girl was trouble.
Yeah, sure. I've gotta go. Hazel must be upstairs. I'd better hurry.
So the interesting thing is that when you're embraced,
What
you
about
basically
Jara?
reset
I haven't seen her.
every
Councillor
night
Drury
if you
is
change your
not here,
appearance.
nor is Dr. Dunham. Mr. Leto's teams are trying to reach them, but...
Nobody's answering?
No.
So if you have like your hair a certain length and you cut it off on like at night, when you wake up the next day, your hair is grown back to its default. At least it was in 3rd edition. Same thing with like your height, your weight, everything kind of resets.
Is there a problem?
Who are you?
MM.
Lazarus.
They've all got such long faces. Hey, Abby.
Hey, MM.
Abby, do you know what's going on?
I'm sorry, but I can't.
Please? I feel like I've been plopped down in the middle of a minefield.
There are rumors about Journey. Rumors about how this is all her fault. Did you know that Jay was in charge of the party?
Shit. I bet she's gonna take the fall for whatever happened.
I don't think she's involved, but we've got to be on our guard.
Ma'am, we haven't seen you here in ages now, have we?
It's interesting. It's got a very different vibe. I can definitely tell that the people who did the council made this game.
Let's holster our weapons. I'm only here because of that goddamn Code Red.
Blunt and to the point, as usual. With a bit of luck, your suffering will be over soon. How's business these days?
Why? You want to invest?
Don't tempt me.
All of my... yeah, that ain't happening.
I'm shocked to think you put so much as a penny into one of my clubs. They don't bring in enough for your taste, Beryl.
You're right. I'm not interested in them. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to be alone. I'm waiting for Caleb.
Mr. Personality. He does need some moisturizer.
Sorry, ma'am. You can't come through here.
Alright, let's see if there's anything else that we need to look at here. So, Gala, Protector of the Camarilla. We'll read his bio when we get to him. Leisha, the Princess Seer. Oh, a Malkavian. Okay, so Toreador, Ventru, and Malkavian. That's our trio. Then we got First Herald of the Toreador. Member of the Primogen Council for the Tremere. And then, oh wow, Hilda was embraced in 1788. Toreador don't run. Oh, there we go.
Good evening.
Is this... or is this where we came in? Oh, this is where we came in. Sorry, no getting away, MM. The elevator you go.
What a shitty night. Hazel must be pissed. What the hell could she want with me?
Elevator go. Ah. Meanwhile, in Malkavian land. Getting Call of Cthulhu vibes here. Leisha.
Is everything okay, Mom? Penny for your thoughts?
Nothing, Pumpkin. What were you saying?
You saw pictures again? You're not going back to the Institute, are you?
No, don't fret. I'm gonna stay here with you now.
I don't like it when Richard takes you away.
He's my psychiatrist. He's helping me so I can be with you.
Mom has a little trouble sometimes, remember?
I see things that haven't happened yet. And I forget others.
Yes, I know. And you have to slumber so you can rest all alone sometimes. But 3 years was too long.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call that this daughter is a figment of her imagination. Speaking of Call of Cthulhu, just like in Dark Corners of the Earth, we have a little kid companion following us around. Who has a lisp like, who was the littlest Brady kid? I don't remember. Cindy. Like Cindy Brady. Oh, she does have a permanently dilated pupil. Just like David Bowie.
It seemed like an eternity without you.
I missed you too, Mom.
I need my sweet little monster.
Mom? What's going on? Why does everybody look so upset?
I think something serious is happening. I'm worried. I still haven't seen Richard. I looked for him so he could explain, but he can't be found.
So what do we do now?
I was told to wait here, because Hazel wants to see us. There are grown-ups coming, and your mother needs to talk to them.
Oh, then I'll go hide, because grown-ups talk to me too much.
If you want, sweetie. But don't wander off. Go on. Show me what you do to make sure no one spots you.
Okay, here I go.
Or she could be a child vampire. That would actually be kind of creepier, I feel.
Leisha. It's been a while. Hey, MM.
The band's together.
When did you get out? Just tonight. Hazel wanted to see me.
That means she's extremely worried about the situation.
That, or she's a major drama queen.
You shouldn't make light of the situation, believe me. There aren't many of us who have experienced a code red and survived.
Thanks for the heads up, Professor Bazori. First Siaka, now you. Why won't anybody give me a break tonight? Maybe you asked for it.
Or maybe if you behaved in a manner more appropriate to the circumstances and our setting, then you'd better understand why everyone is so nervous.
Don't have to say that these wouldn't get along.
Stop it right there, Bazori. Don't take that tone with me. I choose what lessons to take.
We must all remain calm and accept any help we can get, even from the most unusual sources.
That's surprising to hear, coming from a blue blood. At least your certainties come from a more solid source than a prophecy from a child of Malkov. You don't know what you're talking about. All I'm saying is that whatever the problem is, your hallucinations aren't gonna help us solve it.
Man, she's attacking everybody.
And yet, many of the things I saw ended up happening. Quentin King's disappearance, Hazel's rise to power, your breakup with Hilda too. But you're probably right. It's just Hazel and her flair for the dramatic.
Only time will tell.
Mem did choose violence.
Good evening, ladies, sir. The prince shall see you now.
Okay, Rebellious Star, the diva who lights up Boston's nights, but bringing light into a world of darkness can be perilous. Amem knows this, but she does not care. Choose a profile. Profile that focuses on knowledge and skills that allow you to go undercover, extort, or steal information. Profile that focuses on improving attributes and a large selection of skills. It allows for a maximum number of interactions, but with less mastery. Profile that focuses on dialogue skills and the physical attribute. It allows you to use the character's aura in conversations. Free. Profile with no pre-attributed points. Ooh. Do you think I should go freehand with this, guys? How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Which vampire clan would you choose in real life if I had to? Out of out of the base clans, I would choose La Sombra. Now keep in mind this answer changes all the time. The La Sombra have mastery of shadow powers. It's very cool, especially in this version of VTM. But your weakness is you don't cast a reflection. so you don't show up on mirrors and stuff. You'd be a Masquerade breach, but I think that's manageable. So I think the weakness is... Yeah, let's go freehand. Let's see what we can do here. At the start of a scene, previously earned experience points can be spent to improve characters' abilities. These abilities are divided into two areas, the character sheet and the discipline sheet. Each attribute affects a specific list of skills and disciplines. Attributes increase the chance of victory in case of a tie. Improving them also decreases the willpower cost of focus. So, her being a Toreador, oh god, we got 130 available experience. Let us see what we can do. The discipline sheet contains the disciplines the character possesses. 5 in each, presence, aspects, and celerity. Discipline powers can be passive and may be used in dialogue or in exploration. So we have 1 in each already. That's kind of cool. Alright, so... we kind of need to decide what we're going to do here. We need dialogue, psychology. I don't think she'd be that good in security and technology. Maybe deduction and education, but I think exploration would actually not be that good. So let's do maybe upgrade to, I mean, she was a dancer after all. Wait, how many points do the disciplines cost? Probably a ton. Oh, sweet lord, yes. Okay, that is quite a bit. Let's cancel that, shall we? Maybe... cost of 45. Hold on, let's back up. I kind of want to see... Well, no, that may lock us in if we do it like that. Rhetoric. Intimidation? No, I don't think that's how she would go. Mental. Well, here, I'll tell you what. Let's back up. I wonder if we're going to be able to do this with the other characters. Let's try Jack of all trades with her and see what that does in terms of rating. Okay, that just gives us... Okay, that gives us a 3 in physical and a 2 in everything. Well, I think psychology would be more the Malkavians' kind of wheelhouse. I just kind of want to see what we're doing on discipline. Okay, so we're keeping the discipline, so we're basically throwing all of our points here into... So let's do this. Let's cancel... So now that I can kind of see what's happening here. Disciplines will stay where they are. We'll put 1 in social. Persuasion. Deduction, education. I don't think security and technology would be her thing. That gives us 30 left, so we can raise something up to 2. What should we raise up to 2, guys? I'm trying to make these, like, legit kind of characters that I would roll. Identify and react to social conventions with ease. Convince others to agree with your point of view. Or psychology. Which seems to be the best one, guys, do you think? I could see her being good at any of these. Probably persuasion. Rhetorical seems more in line with her backstory. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Maxie, you finished the game and can watch it on stream? Well, welcome. Alright, this is what we're going to go for, is this right here. No intimidation, but persuasion, psychology, and rhetoric. We're going to make a true Toreador. And we'll stick with one in each. Oh, I have not put... Okay, never mind. You haven't put any points into your disciplines. What's wrong with you? Yeah, we're fine. Yes.
Hazel. Delsin.
Come in, MM.
Is he the Brute Squad?
I wanted to have a word with you.
What can I do for you?
I'm glad you're here. It's been a long time since we last saw each other. Tell me, where were you tonight?
Like everybody else, I suppose. At home, getting ready for the party.
How fortunate you weren't running early.
Why? What's happened?
You know what the Code Red means. There was a breach. This is intolerable. These agreements were supposed to celebrate the power of my court. Instead, I've been made to look a fool in the eyes of my allies. We'll have to increase our diplomatic efforts with the Warlocks. Send new emissaries to Osborne.
What's that got to do with me?
Don't you worry about that for now. We have more urgent matters to attend to. We bring Journey to me.
She's got some Kira Nerys energy from Deep Space Nine.
She hasn't done anything. Hazel.
I'll be the judge of that.
I like the freckles, though.
What do you want with her?
I have a few questions I need to ask her. If mistakes were made, I need to know what happened. I'm sure that your friend will have a lot to tell me.
Yes, my prince. I'll be right back.
I didn't bring you here just for that. I have something to offer you.
I'm listening.
It's about the Primogen Council. You know everyone who's in it. Beryl, Richard, Hilda. Their support was much appreciated after the disappearance of the previous prince.
Quentin King.
But now, they've become an obstacle. It's been going on for months. They systematically oppose everything that I do. It must stop now.
Oh, female princes? Oh, the thing is, Pesky, there have been tons of female princes in VTM, going all the way back from, like, previous editions. It's just kind of a all-encompassing title.
The Camarilla has faced many challenges in the past few years. Many of our strongholds have fallen. I won't let Boston suffer the same fate, but for that, I need loyal allies. Also, how would you like a spot in the Primogen?
What?
You've always taken care of your community, MM. without ever asking for anything in return. It might be time you took a leading role in the community's affairs.
Hilda won't let you do it. She'll never see me as her equal. Being seated next to her child? She'll feel humiliated.
I'm her prince. She will obey me.
She's not gonna like it.
I don't care. What I'm offering is much bigger than all that. What do you think?
A promotion, haha! Well, she didn't come back to the court, but maybe with a nice fat promotion to Primogen. I would have a feeling that maybe the prince wants the network that she's created. Because she has all of these clubs that everyone is welcome at. I think the prince would probably want a slice of that pie, or at least to be able to keep a close eye on it. Maybe before the Anarchs get their claws in her.
I don't know. I need to think about it.
Time is of the essence. You're a businesswoman, MM. I know you'll be up to it, but we'll talk about it again soon. In the meantime...
I know. Jay, I'm going to go see Sylvia first. I need to clear my head.
Do it. You won't be able to hunt tonight. It's better to be prepared. Bring me Journey.
I will.
I have the utmost confidence in you, MM. Do not fail me.
You can count on me. What the hell is going on?
I like him, Mem. I like the personality through the voice acting is quite good. That walk was a little strange, though. Maybe she was under the influence.
I'm happy to see you in one piece.
Hey, Syl. I'd like some refreshment, please.
Of course, I'll get you a glass.
I was thinking more like a vessel.
Oh, serve yourself. But try not to damage them, okay? They're all I've got left in stock.
I get it, I'll be careful.
I'm right here if you need anything else.
Got a self-serve bar. A safe zone is a place where no one can see you feed. You can find them by exploring the surroundings. Only one prey may be sent to a safe zone at a time.
No news from anyone.
Do you think they're...
Now's not the time to be thinking about that. We're not the only ones freaking out. Look around. Exactly. We've got to keep our wits about us. Got it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm a little out of it.
Toreador. Ooh, pretty artwork. Sir.
Hi.
Ahoy hoy.
Follow me.
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh. Can we do... Was there a particular button to, procure a snack?
I never liked this stuff before. Why would I want it in the blood I drink now?
The vessels are over there. Take whichever one you want.
Do you want us to... do you need me?
Yeah, it's just not giving me the... Oh, find a place away from prying eyes. Gotta find a good place for a snack.